everyone, this is Kate, and this video is going to be a skin tutorial. It's going to be a skin tutorial for very pale skin like this. You can use this skin for pale people and fairies. It just has a very translucent, otherworldly effect to it. For the lips of this girl, I used my Faber-Castell colored pencils. I started out using this very pale pink right here, and then I shaded it in with some magenta and a darker corally red. Now onto the skin. I'm just going to take my Prismacolor Premier pastels, and I have the set of 24. I'm going to use this ballet pink pastel and this cream colored pastel, and I'm just going to create a base for the skin tone. If you do this step first, it's going to create a nice smooth underpainting for your colored pencils, so a lot of the graininess won't show through. Since this person has a lot of pink undertones in her skin, I'm going in with this light ballet pink, and I'm just shading in a little bit of accents around her face. Now I'm going to take a paper towel and blend this in using circular motions. Alright, that's about it for these new pastels. Now we're going to get on to the actual colored pencils. First, I'm going to take these two colors. This yellow ochre color is the yellowish one, and the lavender color is the pinky purple one. And I'm going to go into the mid-tones first. And the highlights and shadows really depend on the reference picture that you're using, but usually they're surrounded around the facial features. So that's where most of this yellow ochre is going to go. And I'm just going in with the lavender now. Most of this lavender color is just going to go over the yellow ochre. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to take this pink and just put in a little bit of rouge in her cheeks. And I'm using very light pressure with all of these shadowy colors. In the shadows, I'm going to use this light umber Prismacolor and just develop these areas a little bit more. My next three pencils are going to be this Prismacolor Peach, Prismacolor Light Peach, and Prismacolor White. And I'm going to go through the shadows and cover up all of the colors that I did before, and I'm going to show you how that's going to work. First, I'm taking this peach color, and I'm not using very heavy pressure. I'm going to go into the shadows and the darker midtones. Next, I'm going to take my light peach, and I'm going to use heavy pressure. I'm going to go over what I've already done in the shadows with the peach and bring it out of the midtones and into the highlights. This light peach is a really good color for blending. You have a skin tone that you want to blend, then go ahead and use light peach on it. Now I'm going to take my Prismacolor White, and using very hard pressure, I'm going to go over everything with it. White is also a good color for blending. That's what it looks like after I use the Prismacolor white on it. For this next step, I'm going to take some paint thinner. You can get this at Menards and big gallon jugs, or you can also get odorless mineral spirits at your local art store. I have a 1/4 inch brush right here, and using short, light brush strokes, just go over all the colored pencil that you did thus far. Once you let the paint thinner dry a little bit, it will lighten up and it will look a little bit like this. So you can leave it just like it is right now, where it looks pretty finished, or you can go back into the shadows and midtones and work them a little bit more. And that's what I'm going to do with this one. When I go back into the portrait, I'm going to use my Faber-Castell colored pencils. I'm going to use white, purple violet, warm gray 5, and raw umber. I'm also going to use this Prismacolor pencil in cream. If you don't have Faber-Castell colored pencils, I have a color match sheet here for you. So this purple violet that I mentioned is going to match up with a lilac or lavender Prismacolor. The raw umber is going to match up with light umber Prismacolor. Warm gray 5 is going to be warm gray 30%. I'm going to be using cream, which doesn't have a Faber-Castell equivalent in my set. And the white is just going to be white in the Prismacolor. First, I'm going to take my raw umber and I'm going to go into the shadows. And the reason why I'm using these Faber-Castell colored pencils instead of the Prismacolor ones is because Faber-Castell tends to have a much smoother consistency. When going over the paper, it doesn't tend to pick up as much grain as the Prismacolors do. But if you have Prismacolors and a wide color variety, it's going to work just fine for you. I'm going to take this purple violet and just go over the raw umber a bit. And this is going to bring in some more of the purple tones. The purple tones are making a comeback! Woo! This is cream, and I'm going to use this for a little bit more blending on the rouge of her cheeks. As well as just a few touch-ups where I think that the shadow is too harsh. I'm just going to use this cream on the edge, and that will blend out the edges a bit and lighten it up. On places where I think could use a little more shadow, I'm taking this warm gray 5 and I'm just using a little bit and putting that darkness back into the drawing. And finally, I'm going to go in with this white Faber-Castell pencil and just brighten up all the highlights. Although this is subtle, it's going to give the skin a little bit of luminescence. As a finishing touch, to sort of segregate the line between the blindfold and her cheek a little bit more, I'm going to go in with some more paint thinner and just go along this line. make it stand out. Alright, and that's what you do if you want to get a very bright, light skin color. Hello everyone, thank you all for watching the video. If you have any suggestions for me, please leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, feel free to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos by me like this. And until next time guys, bye!